Hey, Sam from 3D here. In our video about why Blender is not industry standard, I noticed quite a lot of negative comments. Of course, everyone has their own opinions. You should use whatever software you feel more comfortable with. And as long as we keep this conversation civil, this is good for the development of all these tools, and more importantly, us as artists. If Blender does something better than Maya and you're a Maya user, you should pressure Autodesk to make better tools. The same goes for all softwares. Competition only brings better tools. However, some comments were actually wrong about some facts, as well as some things not being super clear. So, in this video we'll talk about some of that hate and misconceptions surrounding Blender and free software. Clunky UI. First off, one of the main things was the clunky UI. I honestly feel it's about getting used to the software. Blender is a very shortcut-driven software. And because of that, it requires a bit of muscle memory. Some shortcuts are god-awful. But you can change them, and even make them follow other software shortcuts like Maya's. There is even a template called industry standard. Visually speaking, it's not very different from most 3D software out there. That's why I feel it's more about getting acquainted to it. There is a fork of Blender called B for Artists. It's essentially just a different face for Blender. You can try it if you think the original UI is too intimidating. Big projects. The handling of big projects and scenes on Blender was a problem a couple of years ago. But since the open movies got more complex, Blender's ability to work with bigger stuff improved. Yes, other software like 3ds Max are more reliable when it comes to poly count. The main slowdowns will show up with extreme dense meshes like skin pores when sculpting. There are tools to help circumvent that. The simplify option on the render properties and the multi-res modifier for sculpting. Better hardware also plays a role in this. ZBrush is the king of extreme dense meshes for sculpting. But not every sculpture is extremely dense, and Blender is not as slow as it was in previous versions. What about Houdini? Lots of people talked about how Houdini is the conqueror of all 3D related stuff. The thing is, while Blender is, like I said in that video, a Swiss Army knife, Houdini is like a chisel. It was designed to do one thing, and it does it very well. Modeling, FX, and simulations, all procedural and node-based. You can model hard surface on Houdini, but why would you? It was not designed for it. Blender can do some of what Houdini was made for, but comparing the two is like comparing a Swiss Army knife to a chisel. If you want to carve wood, you can carve with both. But the chisel was designed from the ground up for it. Houdini is just not a generalist tool like Blender, Maya and 3ds Max are, so this comparison is a bit far-fetched. All these softwares can do fluid simulations. But Houdini will likely be better than all of them, faster, more stable, and probably easier. You can achieve great things with the Swiss Army knife if you know how to use it. You can butcher a piece of wood with a chisel if you don't know how to use it properly. Lack of supports. You won't have a hotline you can call to, but you'll have a whole community of artists and devs you can reach out to. Most of them are more than happy to help. Because Blender is open source, if you're in a company and are in need of a fix for something, an in-house dev should be able to help. Many studios already do that to an extent with plugins and in-house solutions for proprietary software. Blender only cares for shiny new tools. This is a sentiment I can understand. With each new version of Blender, we have new features, when sometimes the older ones, like the USD support, is not yet 100%. This happens because of the development philosophy of open source in general. As far as I know, there are developers assigned to a specific thing over at Blender Institute, but generally speaking, devs in open source software usually work on whatever they want to at the moment. This has the plus side of always having a very engaged developer, and the downside of some features and bugs simply being neglected. While I don't believe Blender only cares for shiny new tools, they can sometimes get distracted by other stuff instead of fixing some older problems, but they eventually do fix those. And if you're a capable developer, you can contribute to the software, and the fixes will be merged into the main software, which is something you can't do with proprietary software. It's only good because it's free. Why would you sculpt in Blender? Is what I would say if ZBrush was completely free for personal and professional projects. No, Blender is not only good because it's free, it has its own strengths and weaknesses. For example, its shortcut-driven mode is unique to it, as well as some workflows that rely heavily on modifiers. If all those softwares were free, Blender would likely not exist. It only came to life because they wanted to make something good for free. We do live in the real world though, where ZBrush and other professional-grade software cost a pretty penny. If your main goal is to sculpt, and you want nothing more and can afford ZBrush, have at it, use the best tool for the job. If you want to sculpt, model, texture, render, experiment, and just see if 3D is for you, go with Blender, you'll lose nothing. Commercial licenses for plugins. While vanilla Blender is amazing, There are many add-ons that help it make it even better. Some comments were arguing that the fact that some of these add-ons are paid neglects the benefits of Blender being free. This is simply not true, firstly because these add-ons tend to be fairly affordable, and most of them are single purchase only, not a subscription, and you can get a lot done with vanilla and free add-ons. It might not be free if you need a special add-on, but it's much cheaper than paying a subscription for a software, and sometimes also paying for a plugin for it. Getting a job with Blender. I saw many comments going along the lines of, I never saw Blender being listed in a job application. This is very much not my experience. On the screen you can see many job offers that either require or allow the usage of Blender. Especially game studios are gravitating towards Blender, partially because of how fast you can prototype stuff. It's mainly used for modeling in that area. Conclusion. Blender, as stated before, is a Swiss Army knife. It can do a lot, it can do it well. But it's not perfect at anything it does, jack of all trades, master of none. It's a generalist tool by design. As the artist you should use the best tool for the job, or a capable tool. Blender might not be the best at procedural modeling like Houdini, but it is capable, and if you only have access to it, or you enjoy using it, it will get the job done. And the more software you know and can use, the better of a professional you are. We should all strive for better tools, regardless of what company makes them, and not look down on a piece of software just because it's free, or just because you don't understand it, or can't use it to its full potential. The artist makes the strokes, the brush is merely a tool. I hope this video helped clear some of the negativity and clear some questions. If you want to have conversations like this and many others, go to our Discord at the description below, give us a like and a subscribe to feed the algorithm, and comment down below what you think should the next video be about. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.